Surprised to see a woman on one of these? I thought you might be. Would it surprise you even more to learn that I'm an overnight ClickBank millionaire? Don't judge a book, right? And the craziest thing is, I really did make $682.8 thousand and in just 90 days from 100% free traffic, with a one-click software app that I'm about to share with you in just a few minutes. The same software that total beginners are using to generate up to $200 per day in their first week, $550 per day in their first month, and as much as $1,500 per day in their first 90 days online. And you can bet this software is not using any method you've heard of before, whether that's SEO, banners, auto blogs, CPA, PPC, PPV, forums, or anything else you've even thought about doing. I know that's true, because I made all of that money before I'd even heard of any of that stuff, before I even knew this whole industry even existed. My name's Haley Milano. You probably haven't heard that name before, and there's a reason for that. My life's been crazy up until recently, and I've had to do some things I'm not very proud of. As we get to know each other, you'll quickly realize that I'm the luckiest and the unluckiest girl you'll ever meet. Let's talk about where I was in March of 2009. I had no real skills, no Ivy League education, and the economy hit me a lot harder than it hit everybody else. There's a stupid myth out there that pretty girls will always have someone to take care of them financially. I proved that all wrong. The truth was, I had no one, and I was scared. It was almost like I was cursed when it came to money. Imagine how you'd feel if you were rejected from 17 job interviews in a row. It seemed like anything that I tried led to nowhere, and my bills weren't slowing down. I needed money bad. I had to keep myself in school so I could actually make something of myself. There was only one real opportunity out there for me, and it was a last resort. A friend of a friend kept telling me he had an opening for a dancer at his club. Yeah, that kind of dancer. After months of living on instant noodle soup, I caved in. I started working a few shifts at the Spearmint Rhino, one of the classier establishments, whatever that means. Fast forward to today, and that seems almost like a bad dream. Instead of gyrating for my groceries, I now have my own personal shopper. And with only 10 months online, I cleared my first $1 million in net profit. Don't hate. Here's what a typical month looks like for me now. And here's a bit more. I'm not done. Check this out. The really weird thing is, making money online has not been a struggle for me like it has been for so many of you. In fact, I try not to get too involved. The software does all the grunt work. Now, I know you've bought software from slimy dudes promising you profit nirvana, and you trusted their BS claims, bought their products, and they sucked. Don't lie. You probably thought you were buying an automated way to help pay the bills. If it could bring in even an extra $10 per day, it'd be worth it, right? Instead, what you got was a forum spammer, or worse, a knocked-off keyword research tool with a list of action steps that'll have you working more than the full-time job you've got now. So remember this. The next time you hear a claim from a Guido telling you his software will make you rich, you can bet on two things. One, he's been to my club. Two, he's making his money off you, not his software. I know this for a fact because Spearmint Rhino was the hotspot for their big product launch parties. If you could only hear how they talk about you guys after a successful launch, it'd make you puke. I believe useful idiots was one of the nicer terms they used to describe you. Would you believe these guys admit and brag to me about how they pack up free WordPress plugins anyone can download on Google and sell it off to you as an upsell for $297? Believe it, people. This crap, this is the only reason you're still getting hosed online. And the sea of BS out there has you convinced that real money-making software doesn't even exist. But I'm here to tell you the real deal. It does exist. You've just never come anywhere near it until today. And when you do have a real money-making software system in place, you have no idea how fun life gets and how fast everything in your life can turn around on a dime. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. Because I promise you, and I stake my entire reputation on this one promise. All you need to do is click one button. I said one button. to activate the software, and everything, I mean everything, is done for you. And from that moment on, making money isn't something you need to worry about or even think about. It's something you can set your clock to. You know what? Set your clock right now to 1 hour from now. Seriously, do it. I'll wait. Because that's when you'll be seeing your first traffic in sales, if you're lucky enough to get in. Guaranteed. That's how easy this is. And believe me, if it wasn't this easy, I'd have never pulled it off. Ex-strippers just aren't built to make $4,876 per day. And definitely not in these nails. Crazy, right? Well, it's a crazy world out there. I personally saw my entire life turned upside down in a matter of weeks. I went from putting everything in my apartment on eBay just to keep my lights on, to having enough money to pay a personal chef cook my favorite walnut pancakes in bed every Monday. Just a dorky tradition I've had since junior high. I'm getting paid no matter what I do. There's even money pouring in as I record this video. And remember, I knew nothing about internet marketing when this all started. And I didn't do a single thing but hit go on a piece of software. Software I didn't even create. I know how ridiculous that sounds, and how cliche that sounds. And 2 years ago, I tell you, you're a tool if you ever believed such a thing existed. But today, I know better. Listen closely. I don't care how many times you've been misled. I promise you this. Anyone can make money at the push of a button with the right tool. And it's not just possible. It's inevitable. If you think about it, it's just where everything is headed. Just think about all the stuff you already can do with the push of a button. You probably did a Google search today. You probably barely noticed as it turned fancy math equations to scan and sort billions of pages in just a few seconds. It gives me a headache to think about it. But these algorithms can easily process trillions of bits of data and scan tens of thousands of websites. And its speed is growing every day. Now ask yourself, don't you think money-making software is moving just as fast behind the scenes? If there's an algorithm that can do what Google does, how hard is it really to create a formula that finds buyers when they're ripe to buy and just gives them exactly what they're looking for in a totally automated way? Nerdy programmer types have had this stuff for years. I mean, keyword research was automated in 2001. Website building was automated in 2006. Effective free traffic generation since 2008, even though nobody cared to tell you about it. Don't you think somebody by now has put all this together in one package? Into one system that literally spits out money like a rapper at the Rhino? They have. Only thing is, they haven't had any good reason to share it with anyone. And they sure as hell aren't going to release it to a bunch of newbies for $37 a pop. I'm talking about people with names you've never heard of. They exist. It's already happening. And they're getting over-the-top rich while you stay confused and in the dark. How does an ex-stripper know all of this? Well, strippers know more than you think. If there's an entrepreneur with money anywhere, and he's into chicks, he's been to the Rhino. And these guys love to talk about their money and how they're making it. But nothing prepared me for the group of hustlers who started coming in last summer. These guys were dropping coin like nothing I have ever seen before. They used to cough up $100 bills at the club like they were confetti. I'm talking about guys who would fly in on private helicopters, out trying to fill their every little desire. One of which happened to be me. At their private parties, I got to actually see safes filled with millions guarded by high-tech security systems that would make James Bond jealous. If not for them, my eyes would still be closed as to what's possible. These were ballers, real gurus, making millions only with the power of their coding skills, without ever selling a single thing to the Make Money Online crew. These were the guys who couldn't get enough of the Spearmint Rhino, and couldn't get enough of me, and a few of my girls. And it's amazing what these guys will say and do to get in your pants. I was showered with gifts, offers of free paid vacations around the world, and more. Each one trying to outdo each other for my affection. But they'd never have me. It was fun. For a while. But it got old fast. One night, I'd had enough. I was just fed up with not being able to tell my parents or anyone else what I actually did for a living. And I didn't think I could take one more night of being the fondling dummy. I cornered one of these dudes as he was trying to make another move on me and said, "Keep your gifts and your vacations. None of that stuff changes a damn thing for me. I need out of this hell. And you know how to take me there. Show me. Show me so I can do it myself. By the look on that guy's face, he'd clearly never been talked to this way by a woman. I said, I want your system. The one you use to generate money while you party the night away. When I said that, he literally laughed me off like I was a child. And said, get this. Pretty girls like you shouldn't be messing around with this stuff. You'd never understand it. Blackmail isn't my style. But I was desperate. I say, and pretty boys like you shouldn't be caught on camera doing drugs, spending the night with strippers when they're married with 3 kids. If I don't get that software, someone in your family might accidentally see it. And I'd hate for it to be your wife. Yeah, I went there. And as I suspected, this rich creep caved in like an igloo on the Sunset Strip. He says, give me 7 days. You'll never need to work this joint again. I promise you that. Just give me some time to get it ready. That was cool. But I doubted he'd really deliver, so I totally forgot about it for a while.
Then one morning there's a jewel CD case in my mailbox. It's labeled, Haley's Ticket Out of Hell. He actually came through. So I pop it in. And I'm amazed at what I see. I'm expecting a long list of geeky instructions. I was prepared to hire 10 programmers to help me figure it out. Instead, all I see is a little voice memo he left me. Hi, Haley. I made this especially for you, so even a little pretty thing like you can get rich. It's all yours to do whatever you like. I have fulfilled my end of the agreement. Please don't ever contact me or my family again. When I exit out of that, I immediately realize he wasn't kidding. He really had done everything for me. You don't need a programmer to make this work. You don't need a website. You don't need hosting. And you don't need a single skill. And thank God, because at the time, I had no clue what any of that was anyway. He totally dummy-proofed it. The screen prompted something about a ClickBank activation button. ClickBank? Whatever. But then, it asked me how many profit streams I wanted to set up. It asked me to choose from among 9 different profit streams. I needed a change badly. I chose them all. I hit the go button. It took me about an hour to take off my makeup before bed and get into my PJs. I figured I'd see what the software was up to, right before I'm about to crash for the night. I saw something that confused me. Within 1 hour, I see a little green bar show up on the dashboard, and next to it, it said, $88.17. Somebody had sent me almost $90. For what? I had no idea. But guess what? I had just made my first sale. That was more than I normally come home with singles on an average night. I was so excited. I just kept refreshing the page like a total dork to see what would happen next. The bar grows bigger about 20 minutes later. And then it started to happen a little faster. When I woke up the next morning, the account was flush with cash. After a few days of this, I realized I'd never need to strip again. After a few weeks of this, I knew I would never need to work again. And after a few months of this, I was able to go out and buy parents this. I retired at 29. And I moved in here. For me, nothing beat the electricity of the Big Apple. I traveled the world with my fiancé and started my own line of designer bags. Now, I live a Gossip Girl type life. All while in the background, my software is generating me profits like this. And remember, this is all being made by a girl who doesn't know the first thing about SEO, who thinks using Facebook for making money is just pathetic. And blogging? For profit? Don't even get me started. That isn't me. I don't participate in whiny forums to get connections, or mess around with any lame sales tactics. I'm allergic to the stuff. And thankfully, I never have to mess around with it again. This method doesn't need any of that, as you're about to completely understand in just a second. But if you know one thing, I want you to just know this. If I can do this, so can you. It's almost embarrassing to admit it to some of my friends, but my day consists of a lot of shopping and even more partying. When I'm not busy building up my very own clothing accessory empire, launching in January of 2012, by the way, the software alone supports the lifestyle, while I almost forget it exists. I travel all over the world trying to promote my bag collection, so I can't really have any online marketing responsibilities. Other than finding a place that has a good wine list, I just don't have the time. And right now, I figure it's time to share the wealth. And who better to share it with than the people who've been getting hosed by posers all day, every day? That means you. Here's how it works. Like I said before, you just hit one button. When you turn it on, it activates not one, not two, or even 5, but 9 different profit streams. Ensures that you're making sales. You make a sales isn't something you need to hope for. Hope has nothing to do with it, but something you bank on. Some days it comes in heavier than others, but there's always enough to fuel a crazy shopping spree. And here's what really separates this software from the rest of the wannabes. It literally does everything for you. You do nothing but figure out how to spend your money and avoid paying taxes. Everything is taken care of by a system that's smarter than any one of the best direct marketers. Websites? They're done for you. Forget about trying to build one of those. Hosting? Totally over that. Waste of cash and time. This hosts everything for free. More money for you to waste on whatever you damn please. A programmer? It's a non-programmer system. Those it guys always end up fumbling their words around me anyway. And of course, nothing happens without conversions. You can toss everything you think you know about that too. Yeah, even those John Carlton guides. Because the most flawless, bulletproof conversation method will be installed and waiting for you. It's totally done for you. You'd have to try to avoid conversions with this thing because the software actually seeks out the hottest selling markets online right now and builds you the site groomed for the particular market and starts driving them to the site within the hour. And here's the most important part. It only targets people who are already proven buyers while they're buying. So as you can imagine, your conversion rates will be astronomical. And finally, let's talk about traffic. And here's where it really gets cool. It taps into a $15 billion traffic pool, being completely ignored by the entire industry. It's like everyone's gone to sleep at the wheel on this one. It drives traffic in a way that nobody is talking about. Nobody is even dreaming about. In short, a way to legally print money. And it's here for the long haul. You're probably wondering what I'm going to charge you for your very own money tree. And you know darn well that if any of these software posers had something half this good, they only sell it for $10K minimum on their cheesy webinars. If they sold it at all. And that's exactly what I should be charging. $10K minimum. Especially considering you can make that investment back in your first month. Show me a real business anywhere that doubles your investment within just a few weeks. But I'm not looking for customers. I'm looking for an intimate group of like-minded people that get to take a ride on my gravy train. While for $47, they sell you the stuff that actually isn't worth a dime. So, I figured what would be the ultimate way to turn the tables. And I decided, if we took a high-priced webinar software that really does do everything for you and sold it for the same price, the gurus sell their nonsense. This would permanently put them out of business. And that suits me just fine. So that's what we'll do. $47 is the price, with just one catch. I want to keep this little group of ours intimate. Me and my friends can only help so many of you. And we don't want the software to get overloaded anyway. After all, we're hosting everything for you. The domain name, the website, the works. And that bandwidth ain't free. My programmers are telling me we can handle 350 without things getting too crazy. And even that's stretching what I'm comfortable with. So it all comes crashing down to when we reach that number. I know that when I shop, I have to be comfortable before I buy anything. And I want you to be ultra comfy with this buy. So how comfortable does the word free make you? Yeah, I just went there. Go ahead. Crank up the software and enjoy 2 full months of free profits. Consider it my gift to you for just checking this out. Try this mammoth out for 60 days. Make some spending cash, then return it. Now, if for some odd reason you're just not enjoying all that free automatic money and you want to return it, no worries. You get all your money back, and you're right back where you started. I know refunding this would be like poisoning your sugar daddy, just pointless. But even still, I can't have anything disrupting my beauty sleep, so nobody is going to be risking their money for their kids or for their rent. In fact, I won't even see your money until you're ready to decide if it's right for you. So, we'll hold on to your $47 safe and secure with ClickBank until you're ready to decide if this is something you want to keep.
Now, as I creak open the door to your only chance to get access to the stripped down profit software before it shuts down forever, it's time to welcome you to your new life. And as you get started on this new path to wealth, it's really important not to limit your imagination as to what's possible. So I want you to get into this. I want you to really imagine what you want your life to look like when you have more money coming in than you know how to spend. Get ridiculous. I say, write down exactly, get detailed, the most ludicrous wealth, the kind you think you'll never be able to afford. I'm talking about platinum trash bins for your bathroom. Get to the weird celebrity status. Imagine your gardener having his own gardener, or whatever floats your boat. Can you feel it? Can you taste it? Can you smell it? How good does it make you feel? And now realize that with this software, it's not only possible, it's already there, just waiting for you to go grab it. And now we get to the dreaded order now moment. And I say, let's just skip it. Because I personally don't need you to buy now. But I've got a feeling that you do. I've got a feeling that you really have to know what's on the other side of that order form. And if you bail out now, you'll be kicking yourself tomorrow, wondering how your life could have changed. If only you'd taken this small step. Look around. And you can't stand to live another day in your old life. Especially for anyone who right now is working hard to do a job they don't want to do. For anyone who's had to depend on anyone else to keep body and soul together and a roof over their head. Anyone who feels vulnerable to the economy. There are thousands of girls out there degrading themselves when they could easily be making money with dignity, without kissing anyone's ass, without even talking to anybody. So you get on with your bad self. Make some money on my dime. Buy yourself something nice. Buy 2 of them. That's what I do. You deserve it. By now you've heard enough to make up your mind, and you know it's a totally risk-free move. So hit the snazzy button right underneath me, and let's get started. I'll see you inside. I can't wait.